Welcome again. I am Tony Clement from the News Forum. My show is Boom and Bust, and we are here at the Canada Strong and Free Networking Conference in Ottawa, Ontario. My special guest is Tim MacDonald. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us why you're here.
Well, at the conference?
Sure, yeah.
It's great to have a bunch of like-minded folks. My passion is obviously energy. We're at an opportune time where global demand continues to rise. Canada continues to struggle to get the infrastructure in place to supply high-quality oil, gas to our friends, partners, and allies around the world. And I think with the U.S. doing the tariffs, it's been a real awakening for Canada to say we got to get our house in order on a number of fronts, maybe the strongest of which will be energy.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit more about that, because clearly in this election campaign, energy development, call it that, certainly has become a campaign issue, and both major political parties have embraced it. There's a debate as to whether they're really embracing it or what have you, but that seems to be the trend. So is this a good sign? Is the Canadian public more aware now of the importance of our energy resources?
I think it's a great sign that all the political parties have identified that this is important to Canadians, that it would be politically challenging for a party to say, no, we're not going to build pipelines or LNG facilities. So they've, put forward that they're in favor. The current government said they've always been in favor of pipelines. The energy minister made that statement. And that was a little tough to hear, because I sat across the table from that energy minister for several years where it certainly didn't feel like he was in favor of pipelines. And we certainly didn't see much success. In fact, the government had to buy the one after they had canceled several of them.
That's right.
And great that we have it, but we certainly aren't meeting our potential.
But even that project, and you're right, it was a lot were canceled. This one eventually went ahead. And when it did go ahead, it has really made a difference in terms of our ability to get our oil and gas out of the ground. Is that right?
Yeah, our differentials today are at one of the lowest points they've been in 10, 15 years. And that means higher margins for governments to tax off of, more revenue for Canada. I believe that when it came online, it moved the national GDP in a measurable amount. And I guess that's great. The frustrating piece is we could have had Northern Gateway and Energy East as well, which would really have Canada in a different economic position than it is today.
What is the state of the oil and gas sector in the country right now? I'm thinking financially, market cap, those kinds of things.
I would say it's strong that in the last decade, with the canceled infrastructure projects, companies have focused on paying down debts. They're financially very healthy. They're poised, I think, for growth if given the opportunity. Global demand continues to rise. Canada has very well-structured, financially stable companies and incredible resources. Our resources are second to none. Mm-hmm. So if we can remove some of those barriers, this truly can be one of the driving industries for our country for the next decade or two or five.
One of the things that sometimes is forgotten is how much a driver of innovation the sector is. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, truly. I believe one of the largest, if not the largest investor in technology and innovation and implementation of those technologies. The way we produce oil and gas today is dramatically different than what our grandfathers were doing, where you would drill wells. Today, it is using geophysics to find it. It is using high-level engineering to extract it, to develop wells, to drill horizontally. It is one of the high-tech sectors in Canada, really second to none.
So give us a sense of what the future holds for the industry then.
I think it is whatever we define it to be. That the narrative for a decade ago was we're in an energy transition, that we won't be using oil and gas a decade from now.
Right.
Turns out that was a lie. That global demand continues to rise for both oil and gas substantially. Expectations are dramatic growth out for the rest of our lifetimes and probably our kids' lifetimes. So the the future is what we're going to make it. And Canada has the resources, oil sands, natural gas, conventional oil, offshore, across Canada. In provinces today where we're not producing, we could be. And I certainly hope that we grasp onto this opportunity, and it can help get us out of the lost decade, the stagnant GDP per capita, that if we're not playing off our strengths, we're never going to reach our potential.
Indeed. Tim McMillan, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah.